Today's story is by Michael De Silvas. There was this one group of people that would go out and they would say that they were over at their friend's house, but they really went over to someone else's house instead. And what they would do is they would disguise themselves by wearing different hairstyle or makeup, or even wearing different clothing so they wouldn't be recognized by the people over there. And these teenagers thought they had the upper end on their parents, but they did for a little while, a couple months. The one time something happened and the parents found out. And it wasn't a good thing because they violated their parents' trust. So it took a long time for them to earn their trust. See, what these kids would do is they'd go over to a friend's house and say they were at a normal friend's house, and they would get another friend to drive them over to another person's house that wasn't their friend's. They would hang out there, watch movies, maybe sometimes do things and get them to do things they're not supposed to be doing. And this went on for about 2 or 3 months. And of course, these teenagers thought they were, slick. But really, in time, they were going to get caught. Halloween came that year, and they had a big dance and a big party, and all the kids in school were going. All the middle and high school kids were going to the same dance, party. So there was talk about it all over the place, and everybody went. And everybody that was everybody was there. There was music there, there was alcohol there, even though they weren't supposed to be drinking it, but it was there. And there was loud music, and there was all kinds of friends and people that they knew that were there. And there was also even those who would like to smoke drugs, or do drugs, or take drugs, or marijuana. That's what I mean, smoking drugs. Or do things. That was there if you wanted it. But if you didn't want any of it, you could just go there to talk with your friends. So, that's what people would do. So how they did it is they had to disguise themselves and tell people that they were over at their friend's house, but really they lied and went to someone else's house. And that's how they were able to pull this off. Well, the music was real loud and everybody was having a good old time. And all of a sudden the cops showed up. It was loud, everybody was dashing everywhere. It looked like mayhem. Everybody was trying to get out of there to elude the police so they wouldn't get captured or get arrested because of the loud noise, and it was in a neighborhood, and it was past 11 o'clock. So that was the ordinance of the town that all noise had to cease after 11 p.m. in the evening. But of course this party was going on strong and the music was blasting, and evidently one of the neighbors called. Well, one of the teenagers didn't elude the police, and they all the ones that were there ended up getting taken into custody and were arrested. And they were held at jail until they could contact their parents. And that's how these teenagers got busted. They were in lots of trouble with their parents when they got home. Some were grounded for 2 or 3 weeks. And not only that, they had to win their trust back from their parents. It took a long time to get it back. So the whole moral of the story is don't sneak around, because eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the rear end. Because when you do stuff, as another way of saying it, eventually you get found out. So the best way to do this is get permission for your parents when you want to go over to somebody else's house that isn't your house, or another friend's house, and that way they can take you over there, and if they think it's okay and they allow you to go over there, then it's perfectly all right. But don't do no sneaking around business, because eventually you will get caught, just like these teenagers did. And when you're caught, the trust is never the same from their parents. They're a lot more stricter and a lot more, on edge. So if you do take the risk and you do want to try to do something like that, I would really think really hard before you do it, because it can really backfire on you if you're not careful. And once it does backfire, your trust for your parents is never the same quite after that. So if you're going over to a friend's house, always go to that real friend's house. Don't use them as a decoy and go somewhere else. Like some teenagers, I would say probably a lot of them do, which is wrong. A lot of teenagers will disguise themselves and look older than what they actually are. By putting on makeup or maybe wearing wigs, or wearing other people's clothing. So they look older even though they're not. People can do that, and they do. And they may do that so they can go see somebody. And they may, try that. So it's always good to parents to know who your teenagers are talking to and know their parents if you can. But even at that, that's no guarantee, because teens are still going to find a way to sneak around if they can get away with it, and a lot of them do. So, but eventually they do get caught by you, or something happens and there's no way they can lie about it, or and I laugh because they're not going to get away with it, because if you got to go pick them up at the police station, there's no way they can get away or have an excuse to explain themselves out of that one. So the moral of the story is just do the right thing and don't do any sneaking around like these teenagers did, like I said before, because it will catch up to you, and your trust with your parents will never be quite the same ever again. So Michael De Silva's story time. I hope this helps people and helps people to do the right thing. And always get permission from your parents. If you want to go somewhere, ask them for permission. I think it's the best thing to do, because then they can take you and then you don't get in trouble, see? So think about that. Take care. It's Michael De Silva. Story time.